So I would like to talk about two different things today: situational disorganization and spiritual warfare. Curious to get your take on these things and wonder if you are combating any of these in your own life, in your own home. So the spiritual warfare, that's always interesting, right? I am working on creating a parents group for my church to kind of bridge the church and our nursery school, which is super exciting, to support and encourage and motivate, have a time of fellowship for parents. And in doing that, it's really interesting that the more baby steps that I take towards this goal, it feels like the more my kids have just been spiraling out of control. I don't think it's my imagination. You start to get this feeling like you start to feel like you're up against something that is unseen. And so that's where we are. And that is what I'm feeling like. So how am I combating this? Trying to remember to shepherd and how to shepherd. And honestly, it has felt more like a ramrod than a shepherd's hook lately. So I'm trying to pull it all back in, right? We're always giving it our best effort. And what I like to use, my resource, is April. She is just a wonderful soul. She has Mom Life on Purpose, and so I will try and tag you on here, April. But she is passionate about biblical parenting and cleaning the inside of the cup, right? Parenting and shepherding the heart of our children. And she has different free resources, amazing resources. She's always sharing them online and in her group. So we are working on that. I'm looking at my board over here and I'll show you in a minute. Our character study that we're working on is contentment versus greed. These are all resources that she has provided, and I'll add some pictures of what we worked on, like our project for today. And really, just being content with what we're given and what God has provided for us. And even if we don't have something, or, we have issues over sharing something that we do have, what does that look like through the living word? And, what is going on in our hearts that's causing this outside behavior. So let me turn around here. So this big board behind me has a bunch of teachings from April. And she has a great notebook, but having it right there, like in front of my face, has been super helpful when I need to say, like, oh, what situation are we dealing with? Like, what heart issue are we dealing with? I check my board. I put like the top ones that are happening in our house, right now or frequently. I put them on there, and then I just glance at the board, and then I can say, like, okay, this is what scripture says. And I've been trying to combat this, what it feels like spiritual warfare, with this amazing tool. So April, thank you so much. It is a marathon though, right? It's not a sprint. So it can get exhausting. And so that's why I want to talk about the 4 pillars that I use to keep the rhythm in my life, and how we are also kind of dealing with some situational disorganization. I wonder if you are too, especially amidst the summertime. And let me tell you how these 4 pillars can help with situational disorganization. So let me just share with you what I think situational disorganization is. And that is a term that I started using years and years ago with clients. It is basically when you just have some extra going on, right? You've got some extra projects, you've just got like summertime, extra things, extra parties, extra events, just anything, there's extra that takes you outside like the normal, circumstances, like your normal routines, and it adds on because our lives are already full, and then we add some extra on, and we've got some situational disorganization going on. Does anybody, are you here with me? So if you are, I like to revisit my 4 pillars. So rest, plan, love, and serve, and say, okay, am I living into these 4 things? Or is something like slipping? Something's missing, something's going awry. Which one of these, or maybe all of them, need my attention? So when I think about rest, rest, that is not just rest and sleep. That's important. That's a part of it. But it's also coming back to rest in God. Are we spending time with Him? Are we coming to His feet for whatever it is that we need to be refilled with, right? To do it in His strength and not our own. Plan. So maybe we need to say no to something. Like, let's revisit what it is exactly that we are doing. Because when we're adding something extra to our situation, we might need to say no to something else. We may also need to become more efficient or get creative in ways, to handle the things that do still need to get done. So that is a bit of the planning portion. When we are thinking about the love pillar, we're thinking about how we can love ourselves so that we have the resources to love others, right? Because it's that whole, like, you can't pour out of an empty cup. Are we taking time to take care of ourselves and fill our own needs? And what does that look like? It's going to look different for each one of us, what fills us up. But we want to make sure that we are filling ourselves so that we have the resources internally to then love the other people around us to carry out the things that need to get done. Serve, the serve pillar. Now, this one, we need to remember who we are serving, right? We serve lots of people. We serve our kids, we serve our family, we serve our clients, our audiences. But ultimately, who are we serving? We are serving God. So when we choose to look through that lens, I wonder, how would things look differently if we thought serving God when things are difficult and we're tired or we're frustrated? I try and tell myself, which doesn't always come easy, but I try and tell myself, like, you're serving the Lord. You're not serving people. Physically you are, but we are serving God. So that is the fourth pillar. When we put all of these things into place, or we look at these things, we can say, wow, this situational disorganization that is pulling us out of our normal rhythm, let's use these tools to pull back together, right? Let's see what we're missing, and focus on that area to bring things back into that nice flow. So I wonder what situational disorganization you might have going on, and just encourage you to consider those 4 pillars in your own life, to take a few minutes of reflection, and see which area really needs your attention. So I'll just tell you, for us, we have some extra, right, happening, especially right now. We have had graduation parties, my sons, as well as attending others. We have a family reunion coming up. We have some renovations happening at our cabin. I don't talk about it often, but we also have a rental business with rental homes, and there is a lot of extra happening right now that doesn't typically happen. So we've got some things going on with that, as well as fun things like, the garden and tons of wild raspberries and blackberries out in our woods that we want to take advantage of. So sometimes it's fun things, sometimes it's business things, sometimes, it's just the extra things, but all of these things need to be accounted for. So I have been very long-winded, but I hope that this helps you in your life with some of your extra, or maybe in looking at spiritual warfare happening in your home, and just having some extra tools, and if nothing else, feeling like somebody else gets it, somebody else is there with me, because I am. Have a beautiful rest of the day, and I'm going to get back to the extra.